Karen here, and in today's video I'm going to show you how I inked the pretty floral design that rests on this pretty A2 card gift box, and this makes for a great gift. Here I'm using the Altenew Build a Garden Morning Asters Outline Stamp Set, and for Kendra's Card Challenge number 11, Altenew is one of our many sponsors for this quarter's challenge. And here I'm showing you everything that comes in the kit, and this is the instruction booklet, and I'm just showing you how the layered stencils will work by following those instructions. And there is the stamp set, the coordinating dies, and then the stencils. There are 4 stencils total for this particular kit. And in conjunction with all these pieces here comes with this mini ink blending brush. And let me tell you, I absolutely love this brush. I have been eyeing these for some time, and I'm glad that I had the opportunity to use it for my project today. The bristles are nice and soft, and the brush is actually very easy to maneuver, especially in those smaller tiny spaces that we sometimes see in our stencils. So I'm going to be using card sketch number 15, and I did design, I created the box off screen, and you may be wondering, where did I get this box? Well, this box is actually from Kendra herself. So this is actually a free printable that you will get if you are a patron of Kendra's channel. So that information will be linked in my description box if you're not at all familiar with it. But being a patron, you get a lot of different freebies, and it really is a great thing to have to be part of Kendra's Facebook page. And being a patron of hers, it helps support her channel and everything that she does for us with our card sketches. Now, as you can see, the cards fit nicely. All 15 cards from the challenge fit nicely in this box, as long as they're not have multiple layers or a lot of embellishments. They will fit nicely in there. And you can put a belly band around the lid, you can tie it with ribbon or twine, whatever you want to help keep it closed. Or you don't even have to put anything over it if you don't want to. So now I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to get started doing the flower on the circle. And there are 2 different flower stamps in this kit. And I went ahead with the larger stamp set. And now I won't fit all of the flower stamp on that circle, and that's okay. My goal was to get those 3 flowers, the larger flowers, on that circle, and that's exactly what I did. So I bring in my stamp platform. I'm going to set up my stamp and get that all settled on my circle, and I'm going to use my VersaFine Clair Nocturne ink to stamp the image on my circle. Now I do it twice because I didn't feel like I got a good impression on the first time I tried it. So after I clean up my stamp and put that away, I will now bring out my stencils and I will start to do the layering and the coloring. So I'm going to start with stencil number 1, and the great thing about these stencils is they are all numbered. It's kind of hard to see, but there are numbers on the top left corners of each of the stencils. So it definitely makes it easy to follow along and find the right stencil that you need for your ink blending. So now I'm going to go ahead with the process, and I'm just going to make sure that I have the stencil layered on there correctly. And then I use my mint tape to help hold the stencil in place. And for this particular project, I am using a variety of inks. I'm using Hero Arts, the Cornflower, and the Navy dye inks. I'm using the Simon Hurley Later Gator dye ink. I'm also using some Tim Holtz Distress Oxides, the Shaded Lilac, the Tumbled Glass, the Picked Raspberry, and the Spun Sugar. So to help show those layers. So here I'm bringing in that Shaded Lilac, And I'm using that as the first layer of one of those floral patterns. Now I'm going to arrange the stencil to now color in the leaves. And you can see I'm kind of, removing the tape and moving the stencil around so I make sure I get that settled correctly before I do any ink blending. And then so I realized that I forgot the other leaf, and so I put it back on, and I got in that other leaf there. And then also the stem on that smaller part of that top flower. So that takes care of stencil 1. Super easy, as you can see. And then now I'm going to move on to stencil number 2. And now I'm going to do the layering. So I'm just kind of, making sure that the stencil is laid on there correctly. I again use my mint tape to hold everything down. And then I go ahead and I apply the light blue ink over the shaded lilac. And then I'm going to bring in the navy Hero Arts dye ink and ink blend that over as my layer over the tumbled glass. Or I'm sorry, over the cornflower ink that I did earlier. And then bringing in the picked raspberry for that top flower. So there's the finished product. Now the purple kind of overtook the blue, but I think at the end you'll see that there is you'll see some of that lighter blue under the purple. So that took care of the 2 stencils that I used, and I only used the 2 because I just wanted those 2 layers. Those 2 stencils on the right is for the other floral stamp set that is part of the kit, and so I'm going to there I'm just showing you that's the second floral stamp, and it has the instructions on using the other 2 stencils. Now I'm going to put the pieces together on the cover of the box. So I'm going to, again, I'm using sketch number 15, and I'm layering all the pieces on there, and I'm going to use my Barely Arts glue. Usually I kind of go between wet glue and then double-sided adhesive, and when I'm working with smaller pieces like this, I typically will use my wet glue because it's easier for me to be able to adhere the pieces on, whereas I feel like my ATG tape runner gets it gets too cumbersome, and it just gets in the way. So I'm flipping the lid over to help burnish the pieces, and then here I realized that I didn't add a sentiment, and I could have left it blank. That would have been perfectly fine. I wanted to add a little bit more to that white space there, so that's why I decided to add a sentiment. And I'm using the word hello for my sentiment. So I clean that up, and now I'm going to adhere that circle on. You can see I stamped on the other side. I made a boo-boo, and there's 2 sides, so I just flipped it over and stamped on the other side. And you won't even see it through that cardstock. So there's the finished product, and this is my take on sketch 15 using the card box and using the Altenew's Build a Garden Morning Asters. Until my next video, friends, I hope your day is a crafty day, and until my next video, I look forward to seeing you guys again soon. Enjoy and have a great day. Bye-bye.